If I'm being transparent, I've created a lot of anxiety just preparing for this talk. But then I realized that I set out to make a change, and my execution created a movement that found me as a leader of an arts organization. And I'm a leader of an arts organization as a non-artist. So how does that happen? Well, it's not very strange. My mom is a classically trained pianist, a minister of music, and a music educator. And my dad has been singing in choirs for most of his life. I also have a brother who practices several genres of art. And, me, I've had my attempts at, trying to pull out my inner artist, from being the cute kindergartner who sings to being a teenager who wrote and recorded my own demo. If you want to hear it, talk to me afterwards. I can go on and on about how art has influenced my life in my formative years, but I actually turned out to be an accountant. And so one of the things that sustains me is art. So this is a picture by Larry Poncho Brown. He is actually an artist, and he's a native of Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm from. And this picture depicts people of color in their natural habitat, which is closest to the sun, and where the sun shines the brightest. So I hang this picture in my home, and I use it to remind me that I am light. Now, as I've been going through my creative journey over the years, I have realized certain things. Number one, that execution is a form of creativity. Number two, imagination versus creativity is a different thing. And number three is that you must journey into the unknown. My creative journey began on the campus of Wilberforce University as a student. It heightened as I moved to Columbus, Ohio. And it was my conviction to bring a play to the state that was very controversial, and it was rough, rugged, and raw. I quickly found out that there was no place to actually showcase this art, but my conviction was stronger. So what I did was I pulled together a group of friends, and they bought into my vision, and that created Maroon Arts Group. Maroon Arts Group is a collective of creatives who have come together to galvanize and provide a platform for local art that centers around the preservation and promotion of cultures of African descent. Now, you may ask, why Maroon? Well, we named it after the Maroon people. There may be people who actually know of the Maroons. The Maroons were very famous for being in Jamaica, but there are Maroons all over the world. And one of the significant characteristics of the Maroons was to fight to keep their culture. And so being in a place where we were founded in the King Lincoln District, it's where most of us live, work, and play. We know that the King Lincoln District has a lot of history. It is a place where, formerly known as Bronzeville, where, there's a lot of art, there's a lot of culture, and there's a lot of history. And so we took on the task of actually working to preserve and protect that history, and also provide a platform for those artists that are to come. Now, Maroon Arts Group has been around for a few years, and we've provided programming and done some original works, but late 2015, we were offered the opportunity to occupy some land. Now, you may say, and I probably said, we are under 5 years in existence. That's a big undertaking for us to occupy land at such a young age in our organization. But when you think about preserving and providing a platform, we knew that we had to step out and take that chance. We not only took the chance, but we decided to bring art and innovation to the King Lincoln District on a very important corner in Columbus. What we did was we dropped 2 shipping containers. We repurposed one into an art gallery, and we repurposed the other into a performance space. We did this to allow and provide a platform for local artists in the community to display their works, to also have a platform to respond and react to the social norms and things that were going on in our environment. This was my journey, along with everything else, into the unknown. We did a lot. It took us about 2 years for this to happen. And I'm going through things that I never thought that I would do. Contracting, zoning, all kinds of things that I just never thought I would be involved in. But it expanded my creativity and how to maneuver in those spaces. Now, when these containers came down, we had a lot of people actually riding by and asking us, what are you guys doing here? Because as the construction went along, we didn't really have signage out to let folks know kind of what the area was. So we had a lot of people coming by and asking us, what is it that's going on here? What are you guys doing? And we would explain. But there was one day that a gentleman came by, and he got out of his car, came over and spoke to us and really asked and wanted to have an engaging conversation about what was going on this space. Now, little did I know, in telling him what was going on, he actually lit up. And he explained to me that he was an artist in the community and that he had been making art out of what he called trash for years. But he he hadn't really had an art show. He hadn't really been able to be successful in having people to showcase his art. But he asked us, because we were happened to be having a prelim event that night on the space. He asked us if he could place his art on our stage. And my answer to him was, very much so, yes, you may do that. This gentleman's name is Eric Freeman, and not only did he have art in his car, he went and got the piece of art from his car, came back, proudly sat it on the stage, and then he went home because he actually lives on one of the intersection streets where Maroon Arts Group, where the containers lay. And so he went home and got 2 more pieces and came back and put those pieces on the stage. Mr. Freeman is here. I would like to acknowledge him for coming up to us and providing that confirmation that we were doing exactly what we were supposed to do and providing that access, building those relationships, and building community in the King Lincoln District in Columbus. So thank you, Mr. Freeman. I don't know where you are in the audience, but thank you so much. Oh, there he is. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Freeman was the confirmation for me and for the rest of Maroon Arts Group that we were doing exactly what we needed to do. We actually, every time we had something going on at the containers, we would pull Mr. Freeman's art out until Mr. Freeman called me and said, I need my stuff back. I have an art show. I have no idea whether we had anything to do with that, but I am so grateful for Mr. Freeman and his contribution to Maroon Arts Group. So what we need to talk about, guys, I'm going to take a quote and say that execution is my art. I have learned that non-artists can create amazing things, and you do not have to be an artist to create. You just need to take the skills and knowledge that you have and use it to activate the space that you're in. Taking a quote from Maya Angelou, who says, "I believe that the most important single thing beyond discipline and creativity is daring to dare." So what I'm asking you all to do today is dare. We have to dare to create. Create, by definition, just means to bring something into existence. So let's think about what we are bringing into existence. The first 5 words of the Bible was, "In the beginning, God created." I am using my gifts and my talents to create. I'm asking you to use yours. Now, while I would like to, in my quest to be an artist, end this talk with a poem or a song or something that you guys would enjoy, but instead, I'm going to end it by saying, my name is Sheri Neale, and I'm a creative who inspired a movement in the King Lincoln District to bring art, commerce, and community to my hood. I'll ask you, what are you doing in yours? Thank you.